Hey everyone, it's your buddy Crypto Profit back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about Theta and T-Fuel. Obviously, two coins that have been doing very, very well in the last 24 hours. Theta is down about 2.22%, but I do expect big things to come, obviously, with the mainnet 3.0 coming. We also see Theta T-Fuel down 3.58%. So we are seeing the 24-hour periods being kind of rough for Theta and T-Fuel. The big thing to mention, though, is T-Fuel has been booming recently. We saw it in the top 24-hour gainer, actually. I think that was maybe 2 days ago. So if you take a look at the last week, about a 9.78% increase. We also take a look at the last month, a 53.82% increase in T-Fuel. That is much higher than many coins out there, many solid coins out there. So we are seeing T-Fuel as one of the top gainers in the last month span. If we take a look at Theta, we see a 10.33% decrease in the last month span. So we're going to talk about why T-Fuel is continuing to really outclass and outshine Theta. I mean, obviously they're in the same ecosystem. They have the same kind of concept behind them. Obviously, T-Fuel has a different really use case to Theta, but they do have that same idea of what they're trying to accomplish, kind of, and they're in the same ecosystem, like I said. So it is surprising to see just one do well while the other one is still struggling. But like I said, we'll talk about that in more detail during our price predictions for June, July, and 2021. We've talked about this manipulation FUD accumulation stage that we're in. We've talked about how June may be a slow month, a boring month for a lot of coins. We may see gradual increases with a lot of volatility taking place during it. So do expect a lot of questions, a lot of answers that will not be made. And I think realistically, we will see a lot of movement, but just not much actual gains or decreases across the market. So we're going to talk, like I said, more about Theta and T-Fuel here in a second. I do want to say though, guys, if you like Theta, if you like T-Fuel, if you're invested, or you want to learn more about altcoins, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. As we get jumping into the first tweet, this one talks about congratulations to the new owners of these #1 legendary WPT NFTs. We have winning bids for each of the auctions, obviously up to 5.2K, down to 2.2K here, and they have WPT release #2 coming soon, and that release is actually going to be today. So here's a preview of the upcoming Theta Drop marketplace. Buy and sell WPT moments in future Theta Drop NFTs. Listed NFTs and prices shown are for demonstration purposes only. Coming Tuesday, June 15th, and you can see them all here. So there is quite a bit of them coming to the marketplace, and we're going to continue to see hopefully the NFT, or I guess the Theta Drop, continue on a really rampage here as we continue forward. So let's jump straight back here to our next tweet. Our next tweet talks about the Theta protocol updated v2.4.0 is out as the latest step towards mainnet 3.0 later this month. The update includes big things like Theta and T-Fuel crypto economics update, transaction fee and gas fee adjustment, and T-Fuel burning. You can learn more about that if you want to click into that and read more about it, but we're just going to kind of give you guys the brief overview because there is a lot to cover today. Next, we have the Theta Guardian Node GUI v2.2.42 is now out for Windows and Mac OS. Your Guardian Node app will update automatically. This update includes scalability and peering upgrades in preparation for mainnet 3.0 launch June 30th, as well as changes for June 11th TX fee increase and T-Fuel burn. So a lot of great things taking place right before this mainnet 3.0 launch. So you would expect Theta to be, way higher than $9 right now. I do expect it to be a little bit more of a delayed response because of the market where it's currently situated. A lot of people are going to be jumping on board last second, I think, and we're going to talk about, like I said, those price predictions here in just a minute. The next thing we have in line is going to be Edge Node users. May T-Fuel earnings will transfer after Theta v 2.4.0 goes into effect. After that happens on Friday monitoring time, Edge Node cash and compute payments will be made Monday. Appreciate your patience as the team stays focused on a smooth mainnet 3.0 launch on June 30th. So this is just one thing I want to mention. The Theta and T-Fuel team, they have been working so diligently hard, and I think they're focused on this launch. Obviously, with having to really delay it last time, they understand that they cannot mess it up this time. They would get a lot of hype to die down off of their platform, off their ecosystem altogether. And I think realistically, they understand that this has to be the launch. This has to be the real thing. And I think, really June 30th is going to be a big deal for the Theta network altogether. And we'll talk more about that, obviously, as we get closer and closer. Jumping into the next tweet, this one talks about Theta v 2.4.0 will take effect at Block. We talked about this actually, and it's basically taking effect, and it'll occur Friday at projected time, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. PST. So it's great to see this actually taking place. There was no action actually necessary for upgrade for existing token holders, but we're seeing, like I said, more and more upgrades and updates, and I just want to keep mentioning these as really a great way to show that Theta Network and the team is continuing to work diligently as we get closer and closer to that mainnet 3.0. A lot of hype being created across a lot of different crypto communities right now, so it's going to be a fun one to see what happens and where that price really lands. So another thing to look at is obviously Theta mainnet 3.0 is just 15 days away. Scale testing is continuing with no issues at 30K plus elite edge nodes and 150K plus T-Fuel stakers. Aided by scaling improvements in the recent 2.4.0 update, the next evolution of decentralized data delivery is coming. So this was tweeted yesterday. So obviously 15 days away. A lot of us very, very excited. And I think, we are going to be closer and closer to that mainnet 3.0 every single day as we move forward. I do want to take a look at one more thing. This is an article talking about the Theta price forecast and price prediction. It's very, very interesting how long they think that this could actually take place. I guess how long they think this could actually be before we see some good prices. So the long-term Theta crypto price prediction from Wallet Investor is bullish, forecasting that the token will rise from $9.59 at the start of July to $16.15 by the end of 2021, climb to $30.50 by the end of 2022, and 44.83 by December 2023, and 73.66 by the end of 2025. So obviously that is a very, very slow process, a very, very conservative price prediction. I thought my price predictions were conservative. Those are next level. So we're gonna talk about our price predictions here in a second. I will say they're going to be much higher than these price predictions, in my opinion. They, T-Fuel is not, or I guess, the Theta Network specifically is not going to be at 73.66 by the end of 2025 unless we're in a bull, or I guess a bearish market, and it's stabilized down. But let's jump back to this price prediction, or I guess, the price chart for Theta specifically, seeing a 2.22% decrease in the last 24 hours, looking at $8.97 right now. I do think moving forward, we are going to see, really a slow month of June still. Let's give it a quick refresh on T-Fuel as well. 3.47% decrease as well there. If we take a look at the last weeks, though, we are seeing increases on both coins. I think we will continue to see increases on both coins, starting with Theta. By the end of June, this is the big one. So not many coins do I expect to do big things in June, because I think this June is a rough time to really be holding altcoins. I think we're not going to see much movement. We may see even decreases across the board for some altcoins. But Theta, obviously, I don't see decreases taking place for the month of June. I think realistically, we are going to see Theta push closer and closer to maybe a $14 to $18 price point. Realistically, I would love to see our previous 1590 that we were really close to our Theta mainnet 3.0 launch when we were at 1590. But then we tanked right back down after we heard about the delay. But, realistically, I would love to see that again. And I think it's very, very potentially possible. The unfortunate part is, we are in the month of June where a lot of coins are struggling, so we may not see the price pop off as much as we would have liked. So going forward, I think realistically by the end of June, like I said, not as high as we would have liked. But going into T-Fuel, June, I think it could be still a good month. I think we could realistically see T-Fuel right around a 60 to 65 cent price point by the end of June. Do remember, we already have a 51.85% increase. So if we don't make that huge jump to, 60 to 65 cents at the very least, we have to remember this huge increase we've already had and taken advantage of. Do remember as well, we made it to 65 cents June 9th, 6 a.m. So the idea is easily to, really be able to push Theta T-Fuel to that 65 cents. Should be fairly easy, honestly. With a mainnet 3.0 coming, we actually made it to 68 cents June 9th, 4 a.m. So it's definitely possible to see, T-Fuel push farther than 68 cents. Its previous, high, I guess, in the last month. If we take a look at the all-time high, we actually saw, that was its all-time high in June 8th, 8 p.m. You don't see many all-time highs in June, this June specifically. So it's great to see Theta T-Fuel actually doing its work and continuing to push forward. Talking about the end of July, I think realistically we could see bigger price points at the end of July than end of June, which is kind of interesting because we do have the mainnet 3.0 on at the end of June, and you would assume that we'd have a huge rise and then maybe a drop back down after the hype has kind of died down. But I realistically think, by the end of July, we could be out of that manipulation or FUD stage in the accumulation stage. And because of that, I think T-Fuel could be at almost $1 by the end of July. I think, 80 cents to $1 is definitely a possibility. We'll definitely keep you guys up to date with that as well as we move forward. But, Theta specifically has a great shot at pushing closer and closer to $20 to $22 by the end of July. Talking about the end of 2021 or the end of the bull market, my price predictions are going to be much higher than what we see here. Realistically, I do see us, pushing closer to by the end of, let's see here what they said by the end of 2021. They talked about at the start of July to 1615, by the end of 2021, climb to 3050. Okay, so I believe they think by the end of at the start of, okay, so rise from 959 at the start of July to 1650 by the end of 2021. Yeah, so realistically, that's honestly, after reading this, it's kind of crazy to see that that's what their price prediction is for Theta. I think by the end of the year, we could easily see Theta still pushing around a $50 to $70 mark. $50 to $70 being, if we get back to that bull market part 2, obviously, I think, Theta and T-Fuel will, really start to move very, very quickly if that does take place. T-Fuel specifically by the end of the bull market, I do think will continue on and forward to about a $2 to $4 price point, which is obviously a 4x from its current price point at the very, very least. So do expect big things to take place with this Theta ecosystem altogether. It's definitely a coin worth looking into. And like I said, we are 15 days away from the Theta mainnet 3.0 that introduces that T-Fuel staking and uptime mining. So a lot of hype is continuing to build as we get closer and closer. So thank you guys again for tuning in, talking about Theta with me. It's always a lot of fun to talk about Theta. It's definitely one of those coins that I believe personally in, and I think, the long-term future for it is bright. So we'll continue to keep you guys up to date with price predictions as well as really news and information. So if you guys want to stay up to date, like I said, make sure to quickly subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and like the video. I'll see you guys all in the next one.